All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav. The headlines. Delhi police registers cases against offenders following violence during farmers' protest in the national capital. Home Minister reviews situation to maintain law and order. Over 84 lakh paddy farmers benefited from Kharif marketing season procurement operations, says government. India records lowest daily COVID-19 deaths in 8 months. Over 20 lakh beneficiaries received vaccination so far. UK becomes first European nation to surpass over 1 lakh COVID-19 deaths. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte resigns following criticism over spending in coronavirus crisis. And IMF projects over 11% growth rate for India in 2021. Only major economy to register double-digit growth amidst coronavirus pandemic. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain a 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news. The Delhi police has registered nearly 24 cases of violation of lawful directions, rioting, damage to public property and assault on public servant with deadly weapons following the violence during farmers' protest in the national capital. The city police is keeping a close watch on the situation. During the farmers' tractor rally, the confrontation between the police and farmers continued all through yesterday. Most of the incidents were reported from Mukarba Chowk, Ghazipur, ITO, Simapuri, Nangloiti Point, Tikri Border and the Red Fort. So far, 86 policemen have been reported injured and several public and private properties have been damaged in this act of vandalism by the rioting mob. The Delhi police said a section of the crowd also managed to climb atop the rampart of the Red Fort where they hoisted their organization's flag. With great effort, the Delhi police managed to remove the crowd from the rampart and the vicinity. Meanwhile, Delhi Police Commissioner S.N. Srivastav has asked the agitating farmers not to indulge in violence. He appealed to them to maintain peace. He said the time and the routes for the tractor rally were finalized after several rounds of meetings. The agitators defied the conditions and started their march before the scheduled time, and they chose the path of violence. The police displayed utmost restraint during the tractor rally. In view of the situation, Delhi police took necessary steps with restraint to maintain law and order. He said this agitation has caused great damage to public property. Home Minister Amit Shah has reviewed the situation arising out of the farmers' agitation in the national capital. The meeting was attended by Union Home Secretary, Delhi Police Commissioner and senior officers. Sources said during the meeting it was decided to increase the number of paramilitary forces in Delhi.
Terming as unacceptable the violence perpetrated by certain elements during yesterday's tractor rally in the national capital, Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh has urged all genuine farmers to immediately vacate Delhi and return to the borders where they had been protesting peacefully for the past 2 months. Mr. Singh also ordered a high alert in Punjab amid tension and violence in Delhi. He has directed the Director General of Police, Dinkar Gupta, to ensure that law and order in the state is not disturbed at any cost. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal has directed all Deputy Commissioners, Police Commissioners, as well as the Superintendents of Police to remain on high alert so as to ensure the law and order situation in the state is not disturbed at any cost. Chairing a high-level meeting, the Chief Minister directed the officers concerned to remain extremely vigilant considering incidents in the national capital, Delhi. During the meeting, Chief Secretary Vijay Vardhan, Additional Chief Secretary of Home Department Rajiv Arora, Director General of Police Manoj Yadav and other senior officers were present.
Delhi Metro has closed the entry gates of Lal Killa Metro Station. However, exit is permitted at this station. Entry gates of Jama Masjid Metro Station are also closed. All other stations are open and there is normal service on all lines of Delhi Metro. Culture Minister Prahalad Singh Patel condemned the incident of protesting farmers who climbed domes of the Red Fort during the tractor rally protest. The minister said the Red Fort is a symbol of the dignity of Indian democracy and the agitators should have stayed away from it. He also denounced the undermining of the dignity of the Red Fort and termed the incident as unfortunate. The government has said that more than 84 lakh paddy farmers have been benefited from current Kharif marketing season procurement operations with minimum support price MSP value of over 1,10,000 crore rupees. Agriculture Ministry said the government continues to procure Kharif crops at its minimum support price from farmers as per its existing schemes. Around 587 lakh tons of paddy have been procured from various states. This is an increase of 20.28% against the last year corresponding purchase of 488 lakh tons. The government, through its nodal agencies, has also procured over 3 lakh tons of moong, urad, groundnut pods and soybean, benefiting around 1,62,000 farmers.
India has crossed a crucial milestone in its fight against the global pandemic. The daily new cases have touched a new low. With a sustained, proactive and calibrated strategy of the centre based on whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach, the daily new cases have seen a consistent decline. This has ensured a steady fall in daily fatalities too. The country has recorded less than 120 fatalities after more than 8 months. India's active caseload has fallen to 1,77,266. The share of active cases in the total positive cases has further compressed to 1.66% of the cumulative case load. Active cases per million population is the lowest in the world, that is 128. Germany, Russia, Brazil, Italy, UK and USA have much higher cases per million population. The government has said that more than 20,29,000 beneficiaries have received the vaccination under the countrywide COVID-19 vaccination exercise. In view of the Republic Day celebrations across the country, limited number of sessions were conducted in few states. Union Health Ministry said 5,615 beneficiaries were vaccinated in 5 states. These states are Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and Telangana. Meanwhile, the country's COVID-19 recovery rate reached 96.90%, with the total recovery of more than 15,000 patients in the last 24 hours. The ministry said that more than 1 crore 3 lakh patients have already recovered from this disease. COVID-19 active cases are on a continuously declining trajectory in the country. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 1,77,266, which comprises only 1.66% of the total positive cases.
A total of 157 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 6,34,000. The Delhi government said that over 6,21,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 218 people recovered and 7 deaths were reported in the city, taking the toll to 10,820. Presently, the total number of active cases in the national capital is 1,626. In Bihar, 88,207 people have been vaccinated with COVID-19 vaccine in the state so far. No side effects have been reported from any part of the state. The Health Minister, Mangal Pandey, said the state government has set the target to complete the first round of vaccination by February. From mid-February, the vaccinators will start giving the second dose to the beneficiaries on completion of 28 days of the first dose. Meanwhile, 2,56,000 230 patients have so far recovered from the COVID-19 infection in Bihar. The number of active cases of COVID-19 is continuously declining. Currently, 2,265 patients are receiving treatment at various hospitals. COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 98.56% in Bihar. Over 2,56,000 corona tests have been conducted in the state so far.
In Gujarat, the fresh cases of COVID-19 are constantly reducing. The recovery rate has further improved to 96.74%. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Gujarat has recorded 380 new cases of COVID-19 during the last 24 hours. The total cases of COVID-19 detected so far in Gujarat has reached up to 2,59,867, out of which 2,51,400 patients have been recovered. 637 patients discharged from the hospitals after recovery during the past 24 hours. 89 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 81 new cases. At present, total active cases in the state are 4,086. Out of which 45 patients are on ventilator. 2 patients died yesterday, taking the total deaths due to COVID-19 up to 4,381. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Odisha, COVID-19 daily new cases went down below 100 last Sunday. This was the first time that the state reported fewer than 100 cases on any given day since the 6th of June last year. Details from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
More and more patients are recovering from the infection, with as many as 143 people getting cured of the virus during the last 24 hours. This has pulled the active caseload of the state further down to 1,143 out of the cumulative total of more than 334,000 infections so far. Meanwhile, the state is moving ahead with the targeted vaccination of about 3.5 lakh healthcare workers databased for the purpose. Dinesh Chandradas, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The World Health Organization's Special Envoy on COVID-19, David Nabarro, said people should expect to see more coronavirus mutations, but at present there is no evidence to suggest vaccinations will become ineffective. Talking to a television channel that scientists were now looking in more detail at the UK variant following reports that it could be more virulent. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Delhi police registers cases against offenders following violence during farmers' protest in the national capital. Home Minister reviews situation to maintain law and order. Over 84 lakh paddy farmers benefited from the Kharif marketing season procurement operations, says government. India records lowest daily COVID-19 deaths in 8 months. Over 20 lakh beneficiaries received vaccination so far. United Kingdom becomes first European nation to surpass over 1 lakh COVID-19 deaths. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte resigns following criticism over spending in coronavirus crisis. And the International Monetary Fund, IMF, projects over 11% growth rate for India in 2021. Only major economy to register double-digit growth amidst coronavirus pandemic. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
In the United Kingdom, more than 1 lakh people have died of COVID-19. The toll has risen by an average of over 1,000 per day for the past 7 days. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said he took full responsibility for the government's actions, saying they truly did everything they could. He said he is deeply sorry for every life lost. A total of 1,162 deaths have been recorded in the UK, the third European nation to pass the landmark. Mr. Johnson told at the Downing Street News Conference that it was hard to compute the sorrow contained in this grim statistic. The UK is the fifth country to pass 1 lakh deaths, coming after the US, Brazil, India and Mexico. Schools are shut and have moved online, disrupting the lives of students and working parents alike. All but essential shops are closed. In England, socializing, even outdoors, is banned except in pairs for exercise. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has resigned, and it is not clear if he will be able to form and lead a new coalition government. Parties are divided over spending in the coronavirus crisis, in which more than 85,000 Italians have died. Mr. Conte met President Sergio Mattarella, who may ask him to form a stronger government. Last week, he lost his Senate majority. However, media reports said someone else could become Italy's PM or a snap election could be called.
India has welcomed US President Joe Biden's decision to remain part of the World Health Organization. Union Health Minister and Chairman of the WHO Executive Board, Dr. Harshvardhan, said he notes with pleasure that the United States will continue to work with all the members of the WHO with renewed commitment to multilateral cooperation and action against global fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. He was making closing remarks at the 148th session of the WHO Executive Board. The minister said the post-COVID-19 world will be filled with challenges, and to overcome them, the WHO needs to be a trailblazer, empowered to work towards a new vision that allows it to realize its full potential and strengthen healthcare systems across member nations. India's military might, cultural diversity, social and economic progress were showcased during the 72nd Republic Day celebrations at the majestic Rajpath yesterday. The national flag was unfurled, followed by the national anthem with a booming 21-gun salute. The parade commenced with President Ramnath Kovind taking the salute. During the function, 32 tableaux, 17 from states and union territories, 9 from various ministries or departments and paramilitary forces, and 6 from the Ministry of Defence rolled down the Rajpath. Rafale fighter jets, which were inducted into the Indian Air Force IAF last year, featured in the Republic Day parade and culminated the flypast by carrying out the vertical Charlie formation. In the event, indigenously developed main battle tank of the Indian Army T-90 Bhishma, Infantry Combat Vehicle BMP-2, BrahMos weapon system, Pinaka bridge-laying tanks T-72, Samvijay electronic warfare system were the main attractions in the mechanized columns. Naval tableau titled Swarnim Vijay Varsh showcased the Indian Navy's attack on Karachi harbour in 1971. A 122-member proud contingent of the Bangladesh Armed Forces also marched on the Rajpath.
Bharat Parv 2021, a festival to celebrate the spirit of India, has begun yesterday. The festival is being organized on a virtual platform, www.bharatparv2021.com this year, from the 26th until the 31st of January. The mega event envisages generating patriotic fervor and showcases the rich and varied cultural diversity of the country. Ministry of Tourism organizes Bharat Parv every year since 2016 in front of the ramparts of the Red Fort on the occasion of Republic Day celebrations. Themed pavilions of multiple states and union territories have showcased their tourism destinations, cuisine, handicraft and other features. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla inaugurated the Bharat Parv 2021 in the presence of Culture and Tourism Minister Prahalad Singh Patel. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Birla said the Bharat Parv offers a unique glimpse of India's cultural diversity.
कि भारत एक ऐसा देश है जहां विविधता में अलग अलग कला, नृत्य, खान पान, वेशभूषा सब हमारी संस्कृति एक दूसरे के जोड़ने का काम करती है. एक ऐसा समग्र भारत जहां विविधताएं खंडित नहीं करती, जहां विविधता जोड़ने का काम करती है, हमारी संस्कृति को मजबूत करने का काम करती है, देश को सशक्त बनाने का काम करती है, तो वो भारत है. इसीलिए हम कहते हैं कि दुनिया के अंदर अगर आने वाले समय के अंदर कोई मार्गदर्शक के रूप में रहेगा तो भारत रहेगा.
Two officers of Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs have been selected for grant of Presidential Award of Appreciation certificates and medals for exceptionally meritorious service rendered at the risk of life and 22 officers for specially distinguished record of service on the basis of their exemplary and flawless performance in their respective fields of service over the years. The awardees selected this year include the officers working as Additional Director General, Assistant Director, Superintendent or Senior Intelligence Officer, Senior Technical Assistant and Driver who have been consistently committed to the department in various fields over the years. President Ramnath Kovind hosted at-home reception at Rashtrapati Bhavan last evening on the occasion of Republic Day. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and other cabinet ministers were also present.
Health Minister Harsh Vardhan has said improving the quality of contraceptives, augmenting contraceptive demand through comprehensive campaigns and focused interventions in high fertility districts have been few of the country's notable achievements. He said as a result, India has witnessed an impressive decline in fertility and maternal mortality in the last few years. Dr. Harsh Vardhan added that the government continues to strive to substantially reduce the unmet need for contraception by 2030. The minister was addressing the event Family Planning 2020, celebrating progress, transforming for the future through video conferencing. He said India was one of the first countries in the world to formulate a national family planning program way back in 1952. This program was later expanded to cover maternal and child health as well as adolescent health and nutrition. India achieved its Family Planning 2020 goal for improving contraceptive access in the country with adoption of modern contraceptive use having reached an estimated 55%.
Minister for Railways Piyush Goyal has reviewed the progress of Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla Rail Link Project, USBRL. The USBRL, with 272-kilometer long railway line from Udhampur to Baramulla, joining the Kashmir Valley with the rest of the country, is a national project. Out of 272 kilometers of USBRL project, work has been completed and commissioned on 161-kilometer length. The work on the intervening stretch of Katra-Banihal section is in progress. This section predominantly involves tunneling work. Expressing satisfaction on the progress of the project, Mr. Goyal said that the aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir have to be fulfilled by completing the project so that the region gets a good transportation system to remain connected to the rest of the country.
Mumbai's Nehru Science Centre has opened for public viewing rail artefacts that were restored during the lockdown period. These artefacts include the refurbished, renovated and restored steam lorry, horse tram car, electric tram car, a narrow gauge steam engine, an electric locomotive, and India's own first indigenously designed and developed fighter aircraft, Maruth. Speaking on the occasion, Central Railway's General Manager Sanjeev Mittal spoke about the dedicated efforts of the Science Centre and the technicians at Railway's Per-Rail workshop who've restored these artefacts in just 3 months.
India has welcomed the announcement of legislative, presidential and national council elections in Palestine and urged all parties to take necessary steps to ensure free and fair elections. During the open debate in the United Nations Security Council on the situation in West Asia, India's permanent representative T.S. Tirumurti said New Delhi reaffirms its commitment for a just solution to the Palestinian issue and stands ready to continue its engagement with the region with an abiding faith in realizing the vision of sustained peace and stability in West Asia. International Monetary Fund IMF projected an 11.5% growth rate for India in 2021. It makes India the only major economy of the world to register double-digit growth this year amidst the coronavirus pandemic. With the latest projections, India regains the tag of the fastest developing economies of the world. Revising its figures, the IMF said that in 2020, the Indian economy is estimated to have contracted by 8%. In its latest World Economic Outlook update, China is next with 8.1% growth in 2021, followed by Spain 5.9%, and France 5.5%. India's economy, the IMF said, is projected to grow by 6.8% in 2022, and that of China by 5.6%.
Joe Biden's administration will purchase 100 million doses each of the vaccines made by Pfizer Inc. and BioNTech and Moderna Inc., increasing the overall total doses to 600 million, with the delivery expected by summer. The previous purchase target was of 400 million doses. Each vaccine requires 2 doses per person to be fully effective, suggesting the new purchases will build up enough of a stockpile to inoculate most of the country's 331 million people. The vaccines are not approved for use by most children.
Holocaust Memorial Day is being observed today to honor the 6 million Jews murdered during the genocide and the millions of other people killed under Nazi persecution. The theme for Holocaust Memorial Day 2021 will be the light in the darkness, but with the pandemic preventing families from being together, the already difficult day will be even more challenging for many. And now let us look at the weather forecast for the day. In Srinagar, there will be mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. The temperature will hover between -3 and 9 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was around 6 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 21 degrees. Leh had a minimum temperature of -15 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 1 degree. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between -6 and 11 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, the temperature will hover between 3 and 18 degrees Celsius. Dehradun observed a minimum temperature of around 7 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 22 degrees. The national capital is likely to have cold wave. The temperature will hover between 3 and 21 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The front pages of all dailies carry colourful photographs of the 72nd Republic Day celebrations as well as the violence witnessed at the Farmers' Rally. Cultural heritage and military might on display at Republic Day, the Asian Age headline. At Rajpath, many firsts in the shadow of a pandemic, headlines Hindustan Times, giving examples of participation of a women fighter pilot in the IAF Stabilo and the appearance of Rafale fighter jets. Marking 50 years of the 1971 war, Bangla team part of the Republic Day event, writes the Indian Express. Tiranga hoisted for the first time since Independence Day in a Bastar village, a Naxal stronghold, reports the Asian Age. Writing on the Farmers' Rally turning violent, the Pioneer headlines, Capital Sage writers in farmers' garb tried to reach India Gate. Tractor rally turns violent as farmers enter capital. Farmer leaders blame anti-social elements, writes The Hindu. Shah holds security meet, more forces deployed, reports the Asian Age. Red Fort secured after descent into chaos, crackdown likely, the Indian Express writes. COVID wake-up call, government likely to double health budget, headlines The Pioneer. And India reaches vaccination milestone as 20 lakh plus inoculated, reports the Times of India.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Delhi police registers cases against offenders following violence during farmers' protest in the national capital. Home Minister reviews situation to maintain law and order. Over 84 lakh paddy farmers benefited from Kharif marketing season procurement operations, says government. India records lowest daily COVID-19 deaths in 8 months. Over 20 lakh beneficiaries received vaccination so far. UK becomes first European nation to surpass over 1 lakh COVID-19 deaths. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte resigns following criticism over spending in coronavirus crisis. And IMF projects over 11% growth rate for India in 2021, only major economy to register double-digit growth amidst coronavirus pandemic. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.